I wholeheartedly believe that the cover 9 coverage is the best situational trap call in all the Madden 22. So in today's video, we're going to show you exactly why this fits this year's offensive meta so perfectly. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zan for the Zan YouTube channel, and we all know that the most popular meta this year is to call whatever formation you want and flip it. And the reason for that is that most players in Madden 22 tend to run the nickel defense. Now, as you guys know, I am a big time supporter of match coverage. You guys hear me talk about it in every single video. I know that obviously you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about it in every single video, but I promise you I'm not going to stop until I can convert some of you guys over to the dark side. Now, the reason that I say that is that when you can run a full-on coverage scheme that is a very, very well constructed cover 4 quarters, cover 4 palms, cover 6, and cover 9 defense, your opponent basically cannot play all of the mind games with you that you actually can play with them. Now, let me explain exactly what that means, because that probably sounded a little bit confusing. Let's talk about a specific coverage that a lot of players typically do have in their playbook. Namely the cover 6. So we know right now that the cover 6 is a popular coverage that a lot of players like to run out of the 2-4-5 odd or other defenses in Madden. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up something that obviously we know can beat the cover 2 side of, a cover 6 defense, or also something that can beat the cover 4 match side of a cover 6 defense. Now, before I get too deep into anything, I want to explain to you guys that I just recently put out my nickel 2-4-5 defensive game plan. This is a comprehensive defensive game plan that is going to allow you to run this coverage scheme that I broke down in my match game plan to perfection, and then call upon the blitz whenever you need it. And in fact, in my most recent title update, I'm also showing you guys how to set up blitzes out of any formation you guys want in Madden 22. We have been really hammering the defensive side of the ball on Gridiron this year. A lot of other sites are running offensive stuff. We're kind of setting our own metas on the defensive side of the ball. So if you guys are struggling on defense, definitely go over to my website. But let's talk about, again, the cover 6 and why this could be a dangerous coverage to be the only other coverage that you have in your match defense. So some formations don't even have quarters and palms. So for instance, when you look at the 3-3-5 odd, the only match play they've got is in fact the cover 6. And if you face somebody who knows how to beat match well, or if you face somebody that knows how to flip their play and play this flip game with you, it can be a real pain. So I'm going to go ahead and set your typical audibles that a lot of players like to have. Typically, you're going to have some sort of corner route play, and then, a lot of underneath manipulations. But we'll go ahead and set up a flooding concept off of this. So let's break the huddle here, and I'll explain exactly what we mean. So I call Z spot, and I'm going to put the ball on 1 hash mark because a lot of players like to flip their formation to come out with bunch to the short side and then flip it to the wide side, making you have to flip your defense. So we would naturally call basically a match coverage like you would see right here, where we could have the nickel corner flipped over on auto flip to the bunch side. That way, if they run any of their rollout corners or just throw their corner routes in general, the match coverage plays it so well that you can't just chuck this corner route without it being played pretty well. And that is the benefit of playing match coverage in general. Now, again, I go into far more detail in my game plans on the website, but what a lot of players will do offensively is they will basically make you have to, break the huddle with them so your match is aligned accordingly, and then they will go ahead and flip their play, and then they will instantly go ahead and chuck the corner unless you flip with them. So they know that if you're in a cover 6, that they can flip and just chuck the corner to the cover 2 side of the formation, and he'll be wide open, which is, one of the main strategies that you face online over and over and over is this flip meta. If you guys are enjoying this free YouTube content, I would strongly urge you to go over to my strategy website. GridironGameplansgg is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. and access to our Discord server, where every single Wednesday we have a live lab session covering the week's vault content and any questions you guys have about Madden. So make sure you guys head over to GridironGameplansgg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. The reason I say that you want cover 9 in your audibles is because this is the ultimate trap coverage. So let's go ahead and take this a little bit deeper. I'm going to continue to run that same little setup, a corner route, and then also we'll set up some other little metas that a lot of players like to go to, out a bunch here in this video. But let's go ahead and hop over into the 2-4-5. Now, again, when I run this particular coverage, I like to have all of my match plays in my audibles. I typically have palms, cover 6, cover 9, and then even cover 6 invert, because that allows me to jump in between those plays. Now, I want to zoom in real quick here and look at the difference between cover 6 and cover 9. So if you take a look at these coverages, they're basically the same concept, right? It is a cover 4 to one side 4, and then cover 2 to the other side. 4 and 2 is 6. So cover 6 is a split field coverage, cover 4 and cover 2. Now, cover 9 is basically taking that coverage and flipping it. So 6 upside down is 9. So you end up with cover 9 being the nickel corner, whereas in cover 6, the nickel corner is participating in the cover 4 side of the defense. In the cover 9, the nickel corner is participating in the cover 2 side of the defense. So if you get into a flip war with somebody where they come out and they want to flip their formation away from your nickel corner, they're going to be in trouble if you have cover 9 in your playbook. Now, why is that big? This is big because there's only a few nickel defenses that actually have cover 9. Now, if I'm wrong on this, make sure you guys correct me. But from what I can tell, this is the nickel 2-4-5, the nickel normal, the nickel wide 9, and the big nickel over G. Now, I'm pretty sure that there are cover 9 defenses in formations like 3-4 normal and some other formations. But in terms of the nickel packages that players like to play this flip trick against, those are the formations that you're pretty much limited to. Now let's go ahead and put this into practice. So we come out knowing that their bunches to the short side of the field, we're on auto flip. So our nickel corner is always aligned with them. They come out with their defense or their offense lined up this way, but they know that they can't attack the cover 4 match side with a corner route for 30 yards. So what they're going to do is they are going to flip their play. Now, unless I flip my play with them, they're going to throw a corner route. But the problem is when I flip my play, that tells them that they know right away, hey, they're going to go ahead and run the match with us. Their nickel corners traveling with the bunch, so we can't run this. So let's go ahead and spot the ball and talk about why cover 9 is such a beautiful trap coverage. And the reason for that is going to be that when somebody comes out with their bunch on the short side, so that they break the huddle and it looks just like this, and they go to flip their formation, you don't have to flip with them to stay in match. You can actually go to cover 9 show 2, which is no different pre-snap than the cover 6 from that alignment, but now your match side is the side opposite of the nickel corner, which puts them in a situation where they're playing right into your hands. They go to throw their little corner out and it ends up getting matched. Right bumper is not open. They throw it out of bounds incomplete, or better for you, if they throw the ball into coverage thinking it's a cover 2 side and it just ends up being an automatic interception for you. Now, this strategy also works the other direction. So let's say that your opponent runs a match beater. So in this example, we ran a coverage that beats the offensive play. Now let's go ahead and run a bunch concept that actually does a pretty good job of beating, the match side. So we go back and let's just go ahead and set up just a generic route combo here. Everyone knows flood is a really, really popular play. And they don't have it in this playbook, but it looks something like this. This is flood. And you guys know from running bunch or facing bunch that people will throw this out route all day long against cover 4 match because that out route gets open. The corner route won't, but the out route typically does. Now, this is why this is such a great tactic. Let's say that your opponent knows that when they've been flipping their corner route to go to the wide side of the field, that you have been checking into cover 9, right? Well, they know that when they go to this, on this out route, that Beasley's going to end up being wide open if they check into that play. So it looks just like that, a free 10 to 15 yards, right? Well, now you can play the mind games with them by staying in cover 6, and they think that you're just going to check into cover 9 automatically. So when they go to flip and set up their little flood combo, something like this, you could, if you want to, just stay flat out in the cover 2 side. So now when they go to throw this, they're looking to throw that automatic out route, and bang, they're throwing it right into a soft squat for an interception back down the sideline the other way for a touchdown. So now you're in a spot where simply because you have a play in your audibles that you can check into, you can play mind games with your opponent that you otherwise couldn't in the most popular meta formations like the nickel 2-4-5 odd, or, you know, some of the other defenses in the game that do not have a cover 9. Again, when we go back to how this looks, you can only flip your formation to keep your nickel corner on the cover 4 side in a play that has cover 6. If you have cover 9, you open up an entirely different world of possibilities. Now, in this video, I did not explain any rules. I did not talk about solo checks and special checks and cut rules and stubby and all kinds of different coverage rules that exist within all these coverages. If you guys want a comprehensive understanding of how all of these coverages behave, I'm talking everything you need to know about match coverage in Madden 22. I can promise you, if you install this as your coverage scheme, you will get more stops. You will get way more interceptions. You will force way more bad reads. You will also conversely drop a lot more interceptions because Madden still drops picks, but at least you will have guys there rather than giving up these corner routes after your opponent flips while you're sitting there in your zone drops. I know a lot of players that have converted from zone drops meta into the match game plan on Gridiron Game Plans, and they are telling me in the Discord that they are playing their best Madden of Madden 22. I hope that you guys will go check out the match game plan, have a better and more complete understanding of everything the match defense has to offer you. You guys can apply it into whatever defensive formation you want, or you guys can combine that game plan with my newest defensive game plan, showing you guys how to get pressure out of the nickel 2-4-5, all kinds of different pressure looks. We can mix in some of the zone coverage rules, and also you guys get access to the vault update. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. Always like to see those. Hopefully we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Dan. Get in the lab and good luck.